40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Monday Night Racing is back, thank the Lord, and we're here in God's country. It is South Australia, and it is home to one of the closest finishes in Turn 200's history, and it's back with the series that produced that finish as well. It's the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, and it's kicking off season number 3 of competition here tonight at Phillip Island. Welcome back to FSS action here on Turn 200. My name is Tommy Cook, and we've got a new man in the booth here tonight. Welcome aboard, Mr. Jeff Mathis, longtime chatter, first-time caller, partner. Welcome in. This is a fun series that you have got to be a part of, the man behind the curtain, so to speak, teaming up with Zach Flown. But tonight you get to be watching it from up high.
Yes, thank you, Tommy. Thanks for having me. My name is Jeff Mathis. I do work with the series usually. I've decided to come and do this. We've actually been talking about having me up here since early in the PMR days, if not slightly before, somewhere in that. Because if everybody on this channel has seen the Porsche Mission R that Tommy and Matt used to show the weekly racings of, I was working with JJ Wang running those cars specifically. And we had a pretty successful time. So glad to be up here in the booth with you.
Absolutely, partner. A great setup maker for us on multiple nights of the week. Champion-winning crew chief. There aren't many of those on Turn 200, so certainly a great addition to the booth here for whenever we could get you for the upcoming third season of the Formula Super Series. Playing around right now, trying to get the schedule loaded in. I'll throw it to you while I kind of fumble around with this, though. Some new formats on the way. The usual 15-minute sprint and 40-minute feature are on for 8 out of our 10 races this season, but I believe twice this season. We'll be mixing it up just a little bit.
That's true. So we decided that these cars race much longer races in real life. Why don't we do that as well? Mix it up a little, have a little more interesting time with our lives. So the 5th and the 10th race, so the end of the first half and the end of the second half, are both 60-minute features, just a feature race. Still inverting the top 10 for the feature, but we qualify and we go into a long race. Those will be really quite interesting to see. Those will be at Road America and Suzuka.
I was trying to figure out why it was not showing up. It's because it was way off on the right side of the screen. So we'll bring it to center so everybody can see. Of course, it's Phillip Island tonight. Road Atlanta next week. Portland finally going to be on the channel after I've been teasing something there for a while. It hasn't happened, but FSS is going to get the job done. Excited to get Circuit Gilles Villeneuve back. There is that 60-minute feature at Road America in red on the bottom. Suzuka, the championship race as well for the second time in its history here on the channel. Imola Hungaroring will be a first for the channel. Excited to get Jerez, and Interlagos, a personal favorite of mine as well. So that is the upcoming schedule here for season number 3 of the Formula Super Series. Outside of those two things in red there, not much has changed. Of course, anytime that we get some new drivers, or rather get a new season, we always get some new drivers. Of course, we'll have plenty of new faces to go through here this evening, as we are close to 30 drivers. A lot of them out on track for qualifying right now. So we'll take a bop around and see who is stirring around the speedway here.
Provisional pole currently is Thiago Spencer, very similar to his pace that he had in the practice session. Other than that, it's been mostly the people who are usually at the top: Sherlock, DeFabis, Di Gregorio, Bonomi, the normal people.
We are riding with Spencer here, winner of the feature here back in season at number 1. And was the driver on the outside looking in from what is now tied for the closest finish in channel history, 2 10,000ths of a second, which is ridiculous. But Spencer posts his third lap, 1:12.04. I would imagine you had a hand in making this setup here tonight. First of all, in 3 seasons of doing this now, how much has this car changed, and how much do you feel like you all as a league have got these dialed in terms of speed?
High power, very high maneuverability cars. We had some very strong learnings last year, excluding a couple of street circuits that could have gone a little bit better. And then towards the end of the season, we really got our stride, really came up with a pretty solid setup. And this is an iteration off of the highly accepted and very well enjoyed setups from last season. So I hope we're going to be in with a pretty strong season setup-wise.
Certainly, this is a track that a lot of these drivers will be looking forward to, as we're riding with Zachary Smith on the newly updated roll bar cam, thanks to Jeff Mathis and his hard work on that. Unfortunately, Smith, one of the 40 Raceware AM drivers this evening. And one mission I'm going to send you on here as we're waiting to qualifying to close up here in the next 3 minutes. I've got a list of 3 AM drivers, but some of them are not going to show up on mine. So I want to make sure we actually have the correct amateur drivers in the lineup here this evening. The ones that I've got right now are Sarah Guerra, Zachary Smith, and Kyle Allen, but I know there are probably a few more than that. So we'll get that sorted. First of all, I want to welcome in anybody that's hanging out with us here tonight. We've got Nate Siefker in the chat. We'll hope to see him back on track next week. Didn't realize you were moving. Best of luck in all that, because moving sucks. It is not fun. And anybody who says they have fun moving is either getting paid or they are lying. There is actually nobody out on track right now. They can't call qualifying early just in case somebody decides to roll in a little late. I know we had a few drivers that said they were going to be close to the wire here this evening.
I do hear cars on pit lane making some noise and potentially driving out, so we'll see if they come out. Beautiful weather. This is set in the very start of April, which is towards the end of the year, season-wise in Australia, because Southern Hemisphere. Quite a windy weekend. Currently 22 miles per hour wind, 84-degree track, 70-degree air. This is going to be historically a very fast and something that's uncommon for these cars, a high tire degradation race. This is one of Yokohama makes some fantastic tires, but this is a track that wears them out.
What in particular about this makes it so difficult? Is it the high speeds, the sweeping corners, some combination of the two, or is it the big braking zones, the ability to lock these tires up?
It's the high speeds. This is a very high average speed track. You only actually see second gear 2 to 3 times a lap, depending on exactly how you run one of the southern corners. So it is a fast track. You never get the car to slow down. The tires live a very hard life. They're being used up here the entire time.
And certainly you want to make life as easy as possible for your set of tires. Got about 30 seconds left to go. Still no activity out on track. We've got 29 drivers that are in this session. 27 of them have posted a qualifying lap. Justin Knoll and Robert Cipriani are the two that have not. Knoll did make an attempt, but looks like a couple of off tracks negated him being able to post a lap time, and no attempt at all for Robert Cipriani. So, standing start coming up here in about 5 seconds' time, or the grid will open anyway, here in just a moment as we get ready to rock and roll. Season number 3 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, and it kicks off tonight at one of the Turn 200 favorite venues. This is the Phillip Island Circuit. Quick time tonight will go to Tiago Spencer, a previous feature winner here at Phillip Island. Tristan Moss will start on his outside. Row 2 will be the Season 1 champion Joadi Gregorio, and Felipe Silva will start in P4. Titus Sherlock and Byron Daly, 7 feature wins and 1 championship. Your reigning series champion starts in P5. Daly to his outside in 6. Kevin Bonomi and Tanner DeFabis, who was very fast in practice, will start in 8. Jeff Groff, Christopher Hill will round out your top 10 starters. Jeff Lawler, Matt Schlosser there on row number 6. Christian Jasper, Zachary Smith, I believe the top AM in qualifying for the 40 Raceware AM Championship. He starts 14th. Drew Such, Kyle Allen, Griffin Yellen, Sebastian Gianni, Nick Goyette and Zach Flaum round out your top 20. Rest of the grid will scroll on by. 15 minutes here for the sprint. Top 10 will get inverted for tonight's feature. We'll talk to the top pro driver at the end of 15 minutes here. What are the incident limits set to?
17 incident points will get you a drive-through. 25 gets you a nice long sit in the pit box.
Certainly don't want that to kick off the season. Be a little bit harder to get that done here in race number 1. We'll definitely be keeping our eye on that for round number 2, however, because if you pick up 4X, chances are you're going to pick it up pretty early here on the opening lap. Turns 2 and 3, very treacherous around the Phillip Island circuit. "15 seconds till the grid closes. Tiago
Slightly
Spencer.
cooler track.
No, go ahead.
Slightly cooler track temp than qualifying, so this will be a high grip race.
High grip, you're going to need it all. Green flag. The dash to turn number 1. Good jump off the grid for Tiago Spencer. He will get the whole shot. We've seen lots of carnage here in every series through turn 2 on the starts. But pretty orderly here, especially for the first round of the season. No real trouble as we continue to work our way through the circuit. Into the big braking zone. Silva and Lawler going at it, and there's the contact. That's what we were afraid of. That's Titus Sherlock. One of quite a few drivers involved in this one. We'll take a look at that here just a moment.
Sylvia also possibly in strife for a potential jump start as well, so it's not been a good start to the race for him in any way.
Felipe there in the 666, and this has been a cursed session start for a few drivers there through turn number 5. Hello to Larissa Lambert, cheering on Joao de Gregorio. He's made it through nicely. He's up to 3rd as Silva is headed into the pits, so indeed looks to be a jump start for the 666, and he is down pit road to serve that. Meanwhile, for the lead, around the long way, now trying to take the inside into turn number 2. Spencer hangs on, under fire big time from Tristan Moss. Moss came to play. There's De Gregorio riding in 3rd. A ride with your Season 1 champ.
Matt Johnson also has picked up a meatball.
Oh, that's no good. I've seen a couple drivers go off track. Zach Flaum has just been off the circuit.
As I peer down pit lane, it appears Johnson does not have a rear wing, so he could be this could be a short sprint race for him.
So the top 3 tightening up. We'll look a little bit further back now, as well as there's a few drivers in close proximity to one another. This is Kevin Bonomi here with Byron Daly close behind. Daly with a little slipstream there. Bonomi snaking his way down the front stretch. And out of the final turn, it looks like Joao de Gregorio has gotten through on Tristan Moss. And if we're starting with the replay train, we'll look at that. Good momentum out of the final turn, and that was all it took.
Ooh, Strobel in some strife. We got another car, multiple cars off at turn 2, only one of them.
Tristan Moss went off in turn number 5, as multiple drivers there off through the second turn as well. So these drivers, as clean as they got through turns 1 and 2 the first time, every time after that turn 2 has continued to be a trouble spot here. Top am to my eyes right now would be Zach Smith in 13th. Because I don't believe Christian Jasper or Christopher Hill are amateurs. Certainly Christopher Hill would not be. I would imagine Christian Jasper is not either. So this would be the battle for the 4D Raceware top am of the sprint right now. Zachary Smith fending off Kyle Allen. We'll go a bit further back up the running order. Tristan Moss running in 5th. He's got Daly and Jasper battling for position behind him. This is a pretty tight grouping of cars. Moss, Daly, Jasper, and Bonomi. Drew Such about a second and a half behind there. He's got some room to operate with. And into turn number 5, there goes Jeff Lawler. Tanner DeFabis battling. They're both letting the rear tires get lit up. And Lawler on the inside is going to get through. Nicely done.
Fantastic little race occurring right there. Sebring, I believe is the correct way to pronounce their name. Sebring, they were leading the AM class when they had their incident, so tough break for them.
Yeah, and Sebring is there on pit road, so we'll be hoping for better things in about 10 minutes' time. We'll have a 5-minute warm-up in which we'll talk to our sprint race overall winner. Problem for Cody Claiborne off the track. And Claiborne will bring it back on. Scanning for some damage, don't quite see it. Oh, and now Joao and Thiago getting after it here. De Gregorio went for a move there into 2. And now they're side by side again. DeFabis coming back at Lawler. Wheel to wheel. And again, Lawler getting on the power there.
one of the few spots you actually get down into the first gear in these cars. Big loss of downforce, and it is one of the toughest corners on this track for this car.
One thing we have not mentioned yet, and I forget the technical terminology, shaking the rust off a bit myself. It's not the push to pass. I believe it's the overtake.
Yes, the overtake system, which you get 200 seconds of overtake per race. However, there is a 100-second cooldown between uses. So you can use it whenever you want, but you have to plan out your gaps in your uses.
And it is as long as you want. You have to manually shut it off. Is that correct, or it happens under braking?
Unlike the IndyCar, it is the entire time that it is on, so you can leave it on for 200 seconds.
Okay.
But you have to be careful, because if you just leave it on, it doesn't help you on the brakes.
Certainly does not. As Di Gregorio is still trying to get after it with Spencer here. 8.5 minutes to go, separated by less than a car length. And again, they're side by side for the sprint bronze. This is Lawler now getting his elbows out. Big gaggle behind them. Moss under fire. This is Christian Jasper, and Jasper's up to 5th.
Lawler into Fabus, it's the exact same as last lap with the car colors changed.
Lawler in the, I like a white car, very tasteful, as somebody who pilots a white car occasionally on Wednesday nights here on the channel. I'm sure you do as well.
It helps it stand out. Sometimes the white is a little too generic, but also sometimes it's a little more unique.
It saves paint weight as well.
Very much so.
We had a guy
Easier to wrap new.
We had a guy roll up to Jacksonville who had just wrapped his sprint car, and he was like, oh, it doesn't feel right. And he took the wrap off, and it weighed 17 pounds less.
17 pounds is why you don't wrap with lead.
Yeah, it was a thick camo vinyl wrap, and that was the last time that will be on that car, I'm sure. Oh, and while I was babbling about that, Tiago Spencer goes off the track, and Joao Di Gregorio goes through to the lead. We'll have a quick look at this. Oh, got that right rear off, and that was all she wrote. Di Gregorio is off to the races. So Lawler with his biggest gap back to DeFabis. Oh, and just as I say that, DeFabis almost sends it straight into the back of the 8 car. Di Gregorio now, after the mistake, I'm sure, Spencer having to get these tires cleaned up a little bit, get his head back in it. But Di Gregorio now with the lead, and he's got 9/10 of a second. Back to
I'm
Spencer.
uncertain what's happened with Moss. He was scored 5th last time by, and has easily scored at least 8th this time. So he must have had a bit of strife. The car appears to be in good way, so hopefully it was just a simple off and on.
Oh, and we'll take a look at it now.
Currently scored 13th.
He has found his way into the sand. The car looked a little bit out of shape, but he was bringing it back down the track and had some help from behind. So that is why Tristan Moss has taken a tumble down the leaderboard. He is going at it here with Sebastian Gianni now, trying to get back into the sprint points. As again, DeFabis pulling back up on Lawler here with 5.5 to go. Spencer is moving his way a little bit closer to Di Gregorio here. He's cut it down to about 3/4 of a second. And top aim right now, I believe, is Kyle Allen in P15.
I believe that is correct, and he is right at the back of a handful of pro cars that are currently battling, so he's doing very good, but he needs to stay smart and not be part of any potential incidents they could have.
DeFabis catching Lawler once again, and Spencer has caught Di Gregorio. It's a half a second now. So they are through the big braking zone and onto the back half of the lap. All right, now they're through the big braking zone and onto the back half of the lap. Still, oh, wheel-to-wheel contact there. I think that was Jeremy Carter and Tristan Moss that got into it that time, and that Griffin Yellen in that mix there as well. Those are for points. That's for a primo spot in the feature as well. That is to be the grid leader, the battle for 10th.
Jeremy Carter showed very good pace in practice. Didn't seem to transfer over to qualifying, but it did seem to transfer over to the heat race here.
I love having race pace. It's always a good feeling. Here's Spencer again, taking a much shallower entry. DiGregorio using the middle of those turns. He's got some momentum, but again, about 0.3 of a second back into turn 5.
It appears Lawler and DeFabis have once again exchanged positions.
I think they have.
Since the start-finish line. Them battling has made sure that DiGregorio and Spencer have been, it's a race of those two specifically. They have almost a 4-second gap between Spencer and Lawler in third.
Certainly. Inside of 3 to go. Spencer, after going side by side with DiGregorio and getting the right sides off into the grass, has not let DiGregorio get too far out ahead. And now he's going to look for the long way around in turn 1, set himself nicely for the inside on turn 2, and put Spencer back on point.
Phenomenal pass.
Great stuff. You wonder why he won the feature here last time, but don't look now. DiGregorio's coming back swinging to the inside. Spencer hangs on. Lawler closing back in on DeFabis. Never mind, he's in the grass and around. Oh, and he backs it into the natural rock wall there, and he is going to tow back to the pits. And that is a great sprint gone awry in an instant. Byron Daly and Christian Jasper going to duke it out for what is now the 4th position.
Rewatching that, looks like Lawler just touched the curb on the inside there, de-weighted the car, and it just went around faster than he could catch.
Here comes DiGregorio back to it. He's going to take the inside into 1 and hope to get clear. He is clear before they even make it to the turn. This should be the 2 to go lap. So do you want to be the leader, or do you want to be the driver in second on the final lap? Is this the super speedway of the Formula Super Series?
I believe it is a super speedway, so DiGregorio could be in a good position here, but he's going to have to watch himself.
Man.
I do see he does have the push to pass activated, so if he has enough, he can keep it on until the end of the race, but if he's got to turn it off, that's a 100-second wait for it to turn back on.
We'll try and take a look at it before we go to break, but Christian Jasper in that battle for 4th has found his way around, and he is now back to the 8th position. Separation. Zach Flam is also just towed back to the pits. We'll see the white flag this time.
Joao definitely has a, I don't know if it's a strong enough gap, but it's a gap that you could take a half a breath with at least.
I don't know. I'd probably hold my breath the whole time. I'd pass out by the final couple of turns, I'm afraid.
And this race is only a third of the length of our feature.
Yeah. There is a slower car ahead. We may not catch him by the end of the lap. Oh, Griffin Yellen was inside the top 10. He is now dropped out, running off the track. Not too sure he and Tristan Moss didn't get together. Moss is tumbling down the leaderboard as well.
With the loss of Lawler from the race up in front, DeFabus is a very simple drive home to third place here as long as Tiago can keep himself together.
Final turn. It's Joie de Gregorio. Home free. And they'll take the first checker of the season here. The sprint at Phillip Island goes to De Gregorio. Thiago Spencer in second. Tanner DeFabus, Byron Daly, and Drew Such, who we did not mention even one time in that race. Quiet is good sometimes. P5 for Drew. Kevin Bonomi will finish in 6th. Christopher Hill in 7th. And Christian Jasper, I'm sure, was wanting a top 5. Will take home an 8th. Jeremy Carter, Sebastian Gianni, the top 10. And now my question is Justin Knoll a pro or an AM?
Justin Knoll is classified as a pro. Moss finally comes home in 17th with no front wing. So he had a very rough last lap.
Your 40 racewear AM driver of the sprint is Kyle Allen in P12. So well done for him. Let's see what happened, if we can, with Griffin Yellen. He is upside down already. Goodness gracious. What on earth happened there? Drops a tire, not even, it was onto the rumble strip, hits the natural rock wall, and flips upside down. Hot dog. That's no good. All right, we'll see if we can get a word in once we come back from break with your sprint winner. We'll be back here in just a minute.
By Sim Racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series is presented by 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel, designed for sim racing by sim racers. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. And by GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. Coming soon to GoSquadra.com. We are back to live coverage here at Phillip Island, and it's great to talk to your Season 1 champion. It's Joie de Gregorio back in a booth 200. Thank you for the time. Congrats on the sprint race win.
Hi, guys. Good night. Oh, my God. This one is very, very special for me. I'm back into the Formula. I love this car. I said so many times that I love this car. And I was a little afraid because I wasn't driving this car because of some duties and everything. But feels so great to be back like that. Spencer is a very good driver, a very clean driver, so it was a hell of a fight. I just want to thank you, everyone that is watching. And I would like to thank my sponsors. Pro Racing Simuladores, Duex, Pichal, Race Engineer, and Race Engineer, Duex, Pichal, Pro Racing, and HH Timing that they are sponsor us. Let's see what I can do in the second race, but feels so great to be back here.
Yeah, we hope we get to talk to you twice in one night. That's we'd be a little bit spoiled, but it certainly can be very treacherous starting from the 5th row on the grid. We're hoping the best for you, hoping that you can make it through clean and put on a show once again. Thank you for the time, and congrats on the sprint race win.
Thank you.
Love talking to Joie de Gregorio. He's the man. And really hoping that he can make it through. The difficulties, though, of picking your way through the grid Now that everybody made it through turns 1 and 2 cleanly in the sprint race, I can confidently say I don't think we're in for the same luxury here for the feature.
It is unlikely. Safety car is the BMW M2 CSR is fueled up and ready to go. So if he's needed, he will show up.
What about the medical car?
We have a fleet of them ready to go. We've seen how these races go. Weather is looking very similar to the race that they just had. However, a couple degrees cooler ambient. Track is very similar. Very importantly, 19-mile-per-hour wind, which is similar to the sprint, but it's from the east now, not the west. So where you were having the car have a little bit of a push, now it's going to be a little bit of oversteer and vice versa. So we're potentially going to be seeing similar speeds into 1, but coming into the braking zone into turn 4, that is going to be a very different world than it was in the sprint race.
A lot of drivers with maybe not lack of confidence. That's probably not the right word. A lot of shaking off of the rust with this car, and certainly it looked a little twitchy in spots. I'm sure that is the last thing these drivers wanted, was the wind shifting and staying just as strong. But the good news is, if they can survive the first few laps, they've got a long time to get familiar with this track, with this car, and maybe get themselves a good finish here tonight after 40 minutes in the first feature of the season. Starting grid will be up here in just a moment, but again, appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. It's the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, the 4D Raceware AM Championship here on Turn 200, Phillip Island Circuit, getting ready to rock and roll once again. Again, the top 10 drivers from the sprint are inverted for the features starting lineup. If the grid will show up, there it is. Sebastian Gianni, Jeremy Carter, row 1. Christian Jasper, Christopher Hill, row 2. Kevin Bonomi, Drew Such, Byron Daly, Tanner DeFabis. Then it's Thiago Spencer and Joao de Gregorio, your top 10 starters. Outside of the invert, Justin Knoll and Kyle Allen on row 6. Matt Schlosser, Brian Labarge, Cody Claiborne, Jeff Groff, Tristan Moss way back there in P17. We'll see if he can pull it together for the long run here. Travis Skrmita, tried a Sherlock way back there in P19. He's got a lot of work to do. Zachary Smith, one of the AM contestants there back in the 20th spot. Rest of the grid will roll as we've got about 20 seconds left until we get this going. Required pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. Not for fuel, because these cars don't take fuel, but for tires, rather.
4-tire stop is mandatory after 10 laps or 20 minutes racing, whichever laps first.
Boy, oh boy. The lights are on. And now, it's lights out, and away we go. Nobody's ever said that before. The dash to turn number 1, they are already fanning out 2, 3 wide. Look at this. Bonomi and Gianni. Bonomi around the long way will take the lead. That's Jeremy Carter now up to second. Gianni is back to third. Oh, a couple drivers flirting with going off the track there and dipping the right sides into the grass. Justin Knoll will drop quite a few spots as now we're into the big break. Oh, that's Thiago Spencer with problems. Spencer way off the track will drop all the way down just to the inside of the top 20. Byron
And
Daly,
involved in a second incident.
Oh no, and that's Skrmita off the track.
Sylvia as well with a broken right rear suspension. He will be done.
And Titus Sherlock is back into the pits now as well.
Yellen and Labarge also have meatballs.
Goodness gracious. That's the opening lap you're afraid of.
They sure learned their lesson in the last race and promptly forgot everything. Ooh, Yellen off once again, having a very tough time with no front wing or probably an alignment issue as well.
Yeah, big time. Kevin Bonomi a comfortable lead, and there's nothing comfortable what's going on behind him. 2nd through 6th under a blanket, make it 7th there with Christian Jasper coming up into the mix. This is Christopher Hill leading Jeremy Carter, Byron Daly, Sebastian Gianni, Joao de Gregorio, and Christian Jasper. Jasper's bringing the party with him as well. Bonomi, I'm sure, happy to be away from all of this mess.
For a non-oval start, I would say Lawler probably had among the better starts that have ever been had in the FRS series. Started 25th up to 15th on the second time around.
Now that is a plus 11 for him. Nicely done. Riding with Christian Jasper at the back of the conga line. Still got that concertina effect. Little tightening up, little squeeze there at the back of the field.
Oh, major debris down the front straightaway.
That is Sebastian Gianni, and that is his right front tire on the hood. That is no good. Let's take a quick look here. Gianni, right side's full off there, and that was actually both front tires riding on the hood. So Gianni is done-zo. And now Tanner DeFabus with a problem. He is way off in turn number 5. Didn't look like he hit anything, but took the long way through, and now it's dropped all the way down to 16th. Tristan Moss is off, and that's a lot of debris. And I think Nick Goyette just thudded into the barriers behind him, and he took Sebring Stoll with him. Oh, my goodness.
What a rough event for Sebring. Seemed to have
No
fairly
kidding.
good pace, but couldn't be lucky to save the day.
All right, Christopher Hill now has dropped back to 4th. Byron Daly, Jeremy Carter up to 2nd and 3rd, respectively. Now Hill going to have his hands full with Joao De Gregorio. De Gregorio has managed well up to this point, starting all the way at the back of the invert. Now going wheel to wheel with Hill as Carter and Daly battling, and there goes Joao off the track into the sand. No barrier contact. But that has dropped De Gregorio from the top 5 to 14th. Now 15th as Justin Knoll goes through.
It's a rough start to the race, but we do have still 34 minutes left, so he has a chance, but that is going to put a damper on his back-to-back chances.
Certainly to have to reset as we're riding here. I'm not too sure there wasn't some net code there. Hill made a move to the right, but it had stopped, and then all of a sudden you see this little jolt from De Gregorio's left front tire. They were not touching. Of course, that'll happen. The wonders of sim racing and the magic of the internet, it doesn't always play nice. You know, Joao racing in South America, Christopher Hill in California. Sometimes that'll happen.
It's a long way for Data to go. And Joao coming back on track, he has brought some of that beautiful gravel onto the phenomenal turn 2, which people were having significant issues getting through with all the grip they could have.
Yes. Beautiful day here in Australia, but yeah, you can see just off the racing line there, the brand new debris modeling physics that were not present last season certainly are on full display. And, that will be very interesting for anybody that's trying to go side by side through the turns. Christopher Hill, go ahead.
Notable pass over the last lap. Zachary Smith is currently leading the AM class over Kyle Allen.
There you go.
That has been a recent change.
So Smith through on Allen. Smith started the sprint quite well, didn't quite get the finish to go with it. Now leading the 4D Raceware AM division, and we'll talk to your top AM later on here in about 34 minutes time or so. We'll also talk to all your podium finishers here. Right now, provisional podium Bonomi with a 2 and some change second lead over Byron Daly. Great to see him back in action. He's running in second. Hill, a little more contested right now, but he has the bronze. Jeremy Carter is the first up to challenge. Him and Drew Such right back there in 5th.
Bonomi running strong. He has the fastest 3-lap and 5-lap average. So he is also leading the running 10-lap average. So he needs to keep his head down and be smart about when he gets his new set of tires, as they are typically a fair amount slower for the first 3 to 5 laps. And Sherlock has disconnected.
That's too bad. Of course,
Not been a great day for Eclipse.
No. Titus started last season strong, won the first 3 features in a row. Will not have that luxury, at least starting tonight, if he wants to go for another title here in FSS. Christian Jasper in the thick of it now. Here's Jeff Lawler, who is by far and away the hard charger right now, up 18 positions. You think he isn't a little miffed that he didn't get to finish the sprint?
It sure seems he's driving with some extra gusto that he hadn't previously. I believe that was also the fastest lap there for Lawler.
Wow.
Fastest of the race so far, 12.884.
He is now boxed in with Such and Jasper, and they were 3 wide there just for a blip. But Lawler's
over half a second faster than the cars in front of him.
Yeah, Lawler is absolutely ripping right now. As they would say in Australia, he's on a ripper. I haven't done any Australia puns or anything. We even had an Australian in the booth a few weeks ago in the Venom Truck Series. So, inspiration is fresh, and I have not done anything with it so far. It's just because the action's been that hot.
I'm heartbroken and proud of you for your self-control.
Thanks. We got 30 minutes to go. If you're cheering anybody on, drop us a chat. Let us know who it is. As we watch Drew Such and Christian Jasper going at it. And that is Such getting through on C-Jazz. And Chicago Spencer is right here now as well. Spencer equally as miffed, I would imagine, as Jeff Lawler. It's a little more fresh in the mind for driver 191, however. And Spencer is taking a dive to the inside here on Jasper. Jasper off. Now we'll put him right in Matt Schlosser's lap.
Rough corner for Jasper, although he only appears to have lost 1, maybe 2 positions, so much better than a few found themselves at the beginning of the race.
There's Jeff Groff. Haven't mentioned his name tonight. Usually has the retro Turn 2 Under logo on the nose. I don't see it there. But either way, good to have Jeff Groff back on the channel.
My only concern with Lawler, he is very fast. He is potentially looking at 4th position here.
Yes, he
I
is.
do worry that he has been using a lot of his overtakes, so he may be in a tough way when it comes to making passes later on in the race.
Lawler working on Jasper for provisional podium here as Thiago Spencer now is making a move on Drew Such, and Such is off the track and he is missing his left front wheel. So the great sprint in what was a good feature up to this point is looking like it's over. Back to the battle for 3rd as Such will tow back. Hill getting his elbows out here. Champion of the ASRL Sports Car Championship when they ran LMP2s last season. He's also got 1 feature win in the form of the Super Series at what was referred to earlier, I believe, as a cursed Chicago street circuit race.
It could have gone better. That is, even the series is aware of that. And Lawler is pitting. Is this not a lap early?
It has been 10 minutes.
I don't know that I've heard the series announce it, but I could have missed that.
I don't have my radio on, so I can't tell you. I was going to say Drew Such is also down pit road, but that is for a different reason. Got a couple folks cheering on Sarah. Here is Sarah, running P16. And,
Lawler just did a drive-through. He may have hit the incident limit for drive-throughs.
That is very interesting. I don't feel like the track limits are that grotesque here, that would have happened.
We will have to keep a look on that. That's
strange.
pits are open, is just coming through now, so that was purely a drive-through. His race could be in a dreadful way at this point.
And
as Justin Knoll decides to take a look off.
Travis Scrameda off. Sarah, is it Guerra? Oh boy. I didn't
Luckily they've made a sheet for this.
Yep.
Oh.
Meanwhile, while we figured that out, here is Jeremy Carter in from P5, so he will be the first one to sound the bell. Now, in your search for that, I'll riddle me this. Do you like the overcut or the undercut? We've seen both work at different times and places.
With the way these tires are built, I typically prefer the overcut. Minimizing the time on cold tires is really strong. However, any time you can be leading, it's always worthwhile. So for Bonomi and potentially Daly, the overcut is their hope for happiness. The undercut can be very strong. We'll just have to see if the tires will last to the second half of this race, especially if you pit so early. Also, it is... Oh, I just had it. I look like a real genius now. Guerra. I believe is the correct pronunciation. And they say to roll the R's, but we're from Illinois, so we are going to go with Guerra.
I want to roll the R's, though. But you're right. That's probably...
We'll have a discussion with them between the races, and
thank you.
We'll show up a little stronger to Road Atlanta.
But there's Sarah now running P13 with a few folks behind the 21 car that have already been down pit road. Oh, and Christopher Hill, what has happened? He is missing 3 tires all of a sudden. The 101 is in absolute shambles. My goodness.
There appears to have been an incident in Turn 1. I'm curious if the connection issues seem to be caught with him specifically.
Oh, that was a dive to the inside from Thiago Spencer. But that was not... I mean, that was hardly any contact there. 3 wheels to go floppy on that. Oh, well, we're clicking on the wrong thing here. Let's take this one more time. This is Thiago Spencer diving to the inside. And again, that was not... I'm not saying they wouldn't have hit eventually, but they were not on a collision course at that given moment. And that takes Christopher Hill out of this race from a provisional podium position.
And Turn 1 dives here are particularly challenging sometimes because this car, it is easily flat out through Turn 1. So the way you get a dive is with an overrun, so typically you're always dealing with very small margins.
Man,
absolute shame for him.
Here's Joao de Gregorio down pit road into his box. I feel like we don't ever show anybody getting into their pit stall here on the channel. For anybody that didn't know before this moment in time, you can drive through drivers as long as they're on the left side of that white line there. As soon as they are on the right side, they are once again object permanent, and you will both take damage. He will come out right in front of Jeremy Carter, who, remember, was the first driver to legally pit. Jeff Lawler is quite a bit back from them, having already made his actual pit stop now. But Carter's tires are up to temperature. This is the conundrum we were talking about earlier. De Gregorio having to play defense here and also try and somehow not shock these tires into temperature. I mean, one's going to have to give way to the other here. You can't do both, but Joao's doing a nice job here on defense, no matter what their end result's going to be.
Joao has been running some sports cars in the time off and has gotten a lot of experience with how to deal with cold tires and bring them in a very effective way. So I expect if Carter doesn't get it on now, he's going to have a very tough time keeping up with him shortly.
I was going to say, this probably needed to happen already for Carter, who's now in the wash there, lost in the nose. I certainly never doubt the skill or the driver determination or whatever the other percentages are in that one song of Di Gregorio. He has it all. Concentrated power of will is one of them, but I'm not sure where that falls in the Formula Super Series.
I'm uncertain if we can say much more without having copyright strikes, so I think we'll have to curtail back towards the racing. Daly to Bonomi has been pretty consistent of a gap. I think they're starting to stretch out a little bit on Spencer.
And who's to say? It doesn't look like it, but I mean, maybe the netcode contact went both ways there, and maybe just a little wrinkle of something on the front wing of Thiago Spencer. I mean, but Spencer's already been through enough in this race anyway. The fact that he's back up, I mean, looking to cycle at least into the top 5, if not right where he's running right now when it's all said and done, I think it's pretty remarkable for the 191.
And it gives you the good old-fashioned, it's a good points day. Although we have quite a bit, we're not even to halfway.
No, we are not. It's crazy. 22 minutes left to go. These are the closest 3 drivers on track for position. This is Tanner DeFabis in 5th. Christian Jasper and Matt Schlosser 6th and 7th. Top AM right now looking to be Zachary Smith in 9th. Kyle Allen, Sarah Guerra.
Ooh, skirting the edge there.
That
I like that.
I feel like. We walked right up to it. But Sarah there at P11.
They're definitely driving faster than our ability to say their name correctly.
That is absolutely correct.
And Zach Ploum circulating just behind them.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do the classic pull Zach Ploum up guerrilla style in the middle of the race and have an interview with him at some point this season. But, you know, figured we'd let these drivers get their sea legs under them before we really start to rock the boat. But trust me, it's coming.
Oh, that'll be a beautiful day when it occurs. Currently 16 cars running. Jeff Lawler has found himself back in 16th. I'm curious if he's had some strife over the last lap.
Out of the 27 that started this race, that is a lower percentage than we were hoping for. Here's Joie now on Scrimeta. Travis from north of the border. He'll drop back to P14 as Joie is on a tear. Provisionally, of the drivers that have pit, he is looking to cycle out to the lead, but we'll see how that goes. Last lap for Joie was a 1:13.3. Last lap for Bonomi was a 1:13.5. Actually, Byron Daly a little bit quicker there last circuit. And as it started to eat into this gap just a bit, it's only about 1.3 seconds up the road to Bonomi in the lead. You can almost see him in the same camera shot pretty consistently here. Here's a look out the top of the roll bar for Byron Daly. 3 times a race winner here in the Formula Super Series, all coming in season number 1. As top AMs, both Smith and Allen down pit road.
This will be a good test to see who can hit their marks more effectively in the pit lane.
Serguera also down pit road. So all 3 of your, I think, remaining amateur drivers are in the pits. I heard a little bonk somewhere. I don't see anybody dropping time or through the running order, so I assume it was a curb bottoming out.
That is a hallmark of Formula cars and these cars in general. The front of the car runs very low, so it is not uncommon to get the sound of scraping.
Daly is putting in a stint here before he comes to the pits. He's got it down to just over a second. What's the slipstream range here in terms of benefit for Daly up to Bonomi?
Probably around the second to second and a half margin. These cars are fairly draggy, but they also have a fixed gearbox, so it is possible here, especially with overtake on, to actually get into the soft limiter for 6th gear. So you can get a good run, but you may not really be able to do much with that run.
Inside of a second now, Zach Ploum just had a little off-track spell, didn't lose any positions, but he's got Di Gregorio now hunting for a spot.
And Groff just came out of the pits right in front of them, so that could be a point of strife for them in the next lap or two.
And that is Groff potentially cycling out ahead of Di Gregorio.
I believe it is.
That is a 1.5 second gap, but now Groff, similar conundrum, will have to get these tires up to temperature. Joie is rocking and rolling as he got through on Zach Flaum. But this is Groff. I mean, this is provisionally, all we know is what we know, and this is provisionally for the lead.
What I do know is Lawler is, since his pit stop, running the fastest last 10 laps of anyone on the course right now.
Man.
Over a tenth of a second faster on average than Bonomi. However, he has found that probably through some clean air that he probably wishes he didn't have.
That is Justin Knoll around. Off in a pocket 20 seconds behind the driver in front of him and was 12 seconds ahead of the driver behind him. But now he will come down pit road. There goes Groff with Di Gregorio 1 second behind. Jeremy Carter about 2.5 seconds back with Zach Flaum between them. And look at this. Daly, half a second back of Bonomi for the lead. Now, does this influence what Bonomi does here as we come by pit road?
Very well could. Bonomi will not want to have to deal with being behind at any point. They both stay out this time. Thiago is in.
There's Thiago Spencer from third. Has Daly been using his push to pass? Has Bonomi been saving his? That's the question. Either way, a Herculean effort to close what was just about a 4-second gap at one point down to just a couple car lengths here ahead of the pit stops. Lap traffic ahead. This may dictate the battle here as Daly is right, tucked up underneath the back wing, going for a lunge.
I don't know how much room there even could have been there.
Not much. Bonomi survives temporarily. Daly is not going anywhere.
This is what Thiago is wanting them to have to deal with while Thiago is on his outlap. This is playing for Thiago very aggressively, who is in front of Groff by probably 2 seconds.
Bottled up in traffic here. Daly searching for the lead.
There'll be some important choices here.
Certainly will. Here is Bonomi, and he leaves Daly out. We'll quickly take a look back at Joie Di Gregorio. He has caught Jeff Groff now to half a second. So we shout out to Stacy DeFabis. Tanner also down pit road here. This will be very telling here where everybody cycles out. Thiago Spencer only a second up the road from Groff and Di Gregorio. So this is a tightly compacted group here for at least provisional podium, if not for the lead.
Thiago's coming out of the front straightaway, push to pass on. This will be a tight moment for him.
He, Di Gregorio, and Groff all through on DeFabis.
And Bonomi just pitted, is that correct? Yeah, so Bonomi is out well in front of Thiago.
Oh boy, I mean almost 6 seconds. So it will be between Bonomi and Daly, save for some kind of issue between those two. Daly's still out on track, so are Christian Jasper and Matt Schlosser. But again, for the win, seemingly it'll be between the 66 and the 75. That's not going to stop what's happening behind Spencer here, however.
It's true. Daly is staying out. He was able to get around that lap traffic, so he needs to rebuild up that gap, and hopefully he can present Bonomi with some troubles.
Here's Christian Jasper in from second. And you said you liked the overcut. You also said this was high deg. What's the balance between those two? Would you have brought your driver in already?
If I was in the back of the pack, I think there was some merit to it, just getting that track position early on. But I think for Daly, this is a pretty smart choice. But having to deal with that lap traffic that he had to for an extra lap over Bonomi, that could be that could have been the race right there. This will be very interesting to see how it ends.
Certainly has a lot of space to operate right now. Here's a look at Matt Schlosser briefly there. Still out in second, Kevin Bonomi. The real question mark here. Is it going to be him? Is it going to be Daly? Or will Phillip Island strike again, as it's done a time or two here already this evening?
And we have an Eclipse car in the pits with smoke coming out of it. I got to see what that is all about.
Oh.
DeFabis is still on track. I think I just heard the engine expire on the one that was in the pits.
DeFabis is still out there running in 8th. Zach Flaum not too far behind. Di Gregorio 0.6 of a second clear on Jeff Groff, and now trying to set his sights on Thiago Spencer. And, a bit more spread out now, only a few drivers within 3/4 of a second of one another. DeFabis pulling up on Jeremy Carter. Zach Flaum is coming down pit road. So that will free up another spot in the top 10. We talked about all the AM drivers pitting together. Zachary Smith is the top AM right now, the 4D Racewear Amateur Division. And he is about 3 seconds clear on Kyle Allen from the looks of it. Make it maybe 4. Either way, it's well in. I believe that's the Australian flag there for Zachary Smith, so a home race. My vexology is not up to par, but I believe that's the Australian flag. Either way, if he holds on the top AM, maybe we'll find out.
And Di Gregorio is ahead of Groff. However, Groff has had the some of the fastest 3 and 5 lap averages anyone has done throughout the race so far. So I don't believe Di Gregorio's day is going as smoothly as he was hoping, because I think Groff is going to be here to stay.
I mean, think of the missed opportunities here. Of course, for Di Gregorio and Spencer, they finished 1st and 2nd in the sprint, which is nice, but they had to start 9th and 10th. They both got through the opening lap melees, only to get net-coded off the track in separate incidents. Another netcode incident with Thiago Spencer battling for a podium position. I mean, the fact that they're still here in the top 5 is a testament to their skill and perseverance. But certainly to your point, they were hoping for more, and to be frank, they did have more before they didn't. But still, a lot could change in the next 10.5 minutes, as here comes Byron Daly from the race lead, and now we're about to see how much things are going to change.
A quick update before we have to deal with the potential lead changes. Zachary Smith still leading AM over Kyle Allen and Sarah Guerra, running 3rd. All have pro cars in between them, so
subtle and
we'll
tasteful rolling of the R's. Who says Illinois doesn't have any culture?
That's it. Bonomi coming around the final corner.
And we're going to see. Tires were changed on Daly. He's off the pit road, and there goes Bonomi through. Daly's still going to get up to speed here, but this gap is going to balloon, I would imagine, to probably about 2.5 seconds before it's all said and done. Is that manageable?
That could be the potential of the tires in their prime. About that 5 to 10 lap range is going to be better for Daly. That could come back and help him towards the end of the race. Thiago is hoping he had more, but he's going to be a couple seconds behind Daly as well.
Yes, indeed he is. Make it about 3. Daly 2.25 behind Bonomi. There's not the battle for the lead right now, as Matt Schlosser is still out on the track. He will have to pit here shortly, and regardless, Bonomi is reeling him in. I love it when I'm just about bang on. 2.5 seconds. Daly, though, still getting it up to temperature, so this lead's going to increase little by little.
It does appear you have a little bit of experience with this. Schlosser is currently leading, but he does have to pit at least 2 laps prior to the end of the race. They cannot pit on the white flag.
That is good to know, because we've had some people push the limits of that in the past. We laid down the law here early. We did mention there were some new drivers here tonight, but the majority of these drivers have been here before. There's Surrogator off the track. Keeps it out of the barriers. That's the good news. And, luckily, the sand here, a little more generous than it is in real life, and they're able to get back onto the track, and we'll have to work on cleaning those tires now, which is equal parts fun and not fun.
And Schlosser just came through that area, big wiggle, so there's some lot of gravel right on line there.
You could see it on the rear tires there. Love the debris physics. That's an absolute slam dunk as somebody who doesn't have to race the cars.
Sometimes you just get a chance to look at it and realize racing is cool.
Absolutely. All right, it's 2 seconds now. Daly has clawed back about half a second. A 1:12.41 to a 1:12.80 from Daly up to Bonomi last time, so 4/10 quicker. It's about equal with the lap times that Thiago Spencer is running, but again, Spencer just inside of 3 seconds behind, has a ways to go to catch up here.
Bonomi with those new tires did set the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 12.296. So clear air and good tires makes him a happy man, it seems.
That is an absolutely cracking lap. Kyle Allen, Justin Knoll, these are the closest two drivers on track, only two within a second one another. Not too sure this wasn't Knoll getting through on Kyle Allen.
I believe that is actually, they've been staying together. There has been a probe between the AMs for some time.
So that leaves a gap of about 4.5 seconds up the road to Zachary Smith for Kyle Allen. Not insurmountable. Certainly that's what Thiago Spencer, I think, wants to hear. Not insurmountable. It's not impossible. Go on board with Thiago here.
Another note as part of the incident going off there for Sarah, Scrometa has made up a position, so Scrometa is currently in for the podium in AM.
All right.
So that'll be a something to watch towards the end of this race, as we are just under 5 minutes to go.
Get her inside of 2 seconds. So let's see what Sarah can do here in the final couple of laps on push mode. Meanwhile, Kyle Allen back through on Justin Knoll, and Knoll scrapping away. As here comes Schlosser, and that will give the lead officially now to Kevin Bonomi.
Also, I've since realized that the elapsed time does not go from the start of the race. It goes from the start of the gridding.
Yes.
So you get to call 5 minutes to go again here shortly.
5 minutes to go exactly on the number there. That was well timed. Byron Daly 1.3 seconds behind, and the prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak.
Now the question is all going to come down to their ability to manage their push to pass. Daly's in a good spot, but if he's low on push to pass, he may find himself on the outside looking in.
It may very well be on my gravestone. I've said it a bajillion times here on Turn 200. It's one thing to catch somebody, it's another thing to pass him. Man, look at that track surface. Absolutely littered.
With the loss of cars, we don't have as many cars to bring debris onto the track, but we also don't have as many cars to clean the track off.
Let me send out the sweeper out in the middle of the track, in the middle of the race. Keep it green.
That would be a bold choice, and I don't know that I'm necessarily against it.
Save that one for Daredevil, I think.
I think it would be fantastic for Daredevil.
The minutes and seconds are ticking away here, and so is the gap between Daly and Bonomi. 3/4 of a second. As Just further back, Christian Jasper, Jeremy Carter battling for P7. It'll be a nice result for both of those drivers, regardless of who ends up in front of the other. But Daly continuing to close in. Yeah, no housekeeping here. I think, unfortunately, Do Not Disturb was left at the front door of Phillip Island before the start of this one. Look at this. Daly just a few car lengths behind. This is gonna get good. This is why we love Phillip Island. They could race for 40 minutes and still be within half a second of one another here in the closing minutes and seconds.
Speaking of racing within 40 minutes, Guerra and Skrmeda almost went through turn 1 side by side. They are with each other, so this could be a good race for the AM podium position.
And here we go. Daly is on it. He's looking to the inside, and he has got the lead. Down that straight. Slipstream, I would imagine some overtake as well, and Daly closed that gap from 6/10 now to 3/10 ahead. And it's Bonomi who will have to give chase for the first time today.
It's going to be a tough part for Bonomi. He spent a lot of time being out front with clean airs, so we'll have to see how he reacts. He's a very smart driver, very well-versed driver, but it's the first time he's had clean or dirty air in some time, so have to see how quick he is on his tools just initially.
No wins in the Formula Super Series, certainly some podium runs before, and he's also a champion of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. There's a little lockup, dust kick up there from Byron Daly, who's looking for his 4th career victory here in FSS. It'll be 2 laps to go at the stripe. And we're setting up for another duel here down under. Here's the move. Into turn number 1. Bonomi hanging it out, and Bonomi is back in front.
Bonomi's definitely on his push to pass. This is potentially a little early to make the end of the race. We'll have to see how smart Daly's been with his push to pass. And just going off a gut feeling, the battle for 3rd and AM between Guerra and Skrmeda, that is going to likely factor in to our lead race.
Bonomi making Daly take the long way around here.
And much like IndyCar, there is no command blues for cars that are a lap down, especially those that are not a lap down to the full field. So if they catch the back of the pack, this will be a nice little extra issue for them to deal with.
As if they weren't dealing with enough already. To the white flag we go. It's all on the line here for the season opener. They're wheel to wheel across the stripe. Daly trying to get the front wing out. Taking the long way through, and it works into 1. Can Bonomi fire back? Looking to cross him up through turns 2 and 3. But Daly keeps it. Trying to keep that momentum. Open up this gap as big as possible into the big break in turn 5. Guerra is off the track in front. We'll bring it back on. A little bit slow. Daly now in the dirty air.
Daly did say push to pass. He had push to pass. Bonomi is out.
So Bonomi on a wing and a prayer at this point.
Great braking by Bonomi.
Final 2 turns.
Oh, this is going to be close.
Byron Daly, no wins in Season 2, but he's right back to his winning ways here at the Season 3 opening feature. Byron Daly, 4th career Formula Super Series victory. The GoSquadra Formula Super Series here at Phillip Island goes to Byron Daly. Kevin Bonomi, Thiago Spencer on the podium. And your 40 Racewear top AM right now is Zachary Smith, and he's got 4 seconds back to Kyle Allen to bring it home.
And did a nice little flourish out of the lowest corner on the track just for fun. while doing that. Gave me a little of a heart palpitation.
To the strike, there goes Zachary Smith. Top AM tonight. But Byron Daly, how about it?
That was a very, very clinical and very strong final stint. That was beautiful racing to watch.
You got to feel for Kevin Bonomi. He was well in control of this race. I think we only talked to Byron Daly once, maybe twice last season. Last time I remember it was on Belle Isle. Certainly he was hoping to go trophy hunting a little bit more in season number 2, but he did not wait around here to get one in season 3.
And finishing the AMs, they just finished the race, the cars that were just about to be lapped. Scrumeda rounds out your AM podium, and Guerra finishes 4th in AM. That is your last running car on the track.
So Byron Daly will tow, or hang on, I can't quite tell where he is actually. I think he's gone now. Okay. So that should about wrap it up. We should be able to get to the results tab here if it cooperates with us. Not always a certainty that it will. Doesn't look like it will. We'll hit the button, and there it goes. Okay, these are your results from our first feature race of the season here tonight at Phillip Island. Man, not quite 2/10,000ths of a second, but another banger, that's for sure. Phillip Island always produces. And it'll produce a win for Byron Daly here this evening. Kevin Bonomi led most of this race, but he will finish in second. Tiago Spencer will finish in third. We'll hope to talk to these three in just a moment. Joao de Gregorio will finish in fourth. Jeff Groff will round out the top 5. Tanner DeFabis will come home 6th. Christian Jasper in 7th. Jeremy Carter, Jeff Lawler, big mover of the race, up 16. Will finish in 9th. Matt Schlosser will round out the top 10. 40 Raceware top AM of the night belongs to Zachary Smith, and he's already in the waiting room. We'll talk to your 11th place finisher here in just a moment. 12th will go to Justin Knoll. 13th to Kyle Allen. 14th to Zach Flem, and Travis Scrimeta will round out your AM driver podium, with Allen taking the silver. Travis will take the bronze. Sarah Guerra, I believe the last driver running, in 16th. Man, lots of good drivers who got wrecked out of this one early. Christopher Hill was running in 3rd when he had netcode contact take him out of this race. Drew Such was running in 5th. Sebastian Gianni was running inside the top 10. They will finish 17th, 18th, and 19th. Cody Claiborne in 20th. Tristan Moss in 21st. It is Nick Goyette in 22nd. Sebring Stoll will finish in 23rd. Brian Labarge, 24th. Griffin Yell in 25th. Titus Sherlock, your reigning series champion. Not a good night here at Phillip Island. 2 lap 1 retirements for him. And Felipe Silva will take home your 27th and final finishing place, as Robert Cipriani and Matt Johnston will not take to the starting grid in tonight's feature. So we will turn down the music, try and cue up some kind of a replay here. Show off our friend Zachary Smith. Is also need to remember to take the results off the screen before we talk to your 40 Raceware top AM of the night. And we'll bring him up into booth 200 for the very first time. It is Mr. Zachary Smith. Welcome to the booth. Congrats on top AM honors here this evening.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good. Certainly, I only learned to drive this car 3 days ago. I've been driving Porsche Cup most of the week, so it's really good to come here and have a good result off the bat.
Well, I guess it's good morning to you, not good evening. But
you'd be wrong. It's actually 2:00 in the afternoon. So
okay,
you're close enough.
All right then. But I mean, what's the learning curve like to come out here with the Formula Super Series and just kind of learn it on the fly with some of these drivers?
Oh, it's a night and day difference. Coming from the Porsche Cup, it's a very tabled braking pattern. This one is very hard and sharp. So over the last couple of hours, Titus has worked very hard with me to kind of finesse that and make myself able to get such a good result here today.
Jeff, what do you got for your top AM?
I'm just curious, especially with coming from the Porsche, this car has the overtake system. I was curious how hard that was for you to really get the most out of.
Yeah, well, throughout my last couple of months of being on Eclipse, I've spectated many of my teammates' races, so I had a rough idea on how to use it. But for the most part, I just kind of used it in the last couple of laps, as I felt I didn't need to use it in any other way.
Well, what's the plan going forward? It's race number 1 here tonight. Are we part-time, full-time, going for the top AM honors through the season?
Yep, the plan is to try aim for top AM driver. I think I'll be missing next week, but other than that, I hope to make a good attempt at becoming the AM driver for Season 3.
Well, you're certainly off to a good start here this afternoon. Congrats. Let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out the boys at Eclipse, especially Tristan for getting me involved in all of this, and Titus for training me in this car and making me such a proficient driver today.
Alrighty, partner. Thank you for the time. Congrats on the 40 Racewear Top Am of the event here at Phillip Island. Go celebrate. We'll hope to talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, lads. Have a good evening.
All right, we'll go in search now of your third place finisher, and we'll see if we can get a word in here with Thiago Spencer, runner-up in the sprint race earlier, and we'll take home the third place here in the feature. Welcome back, and congratulations.
Hey, how's it going, Tommy? Yeah, thank you. First race, I didn't look at the time, so I didn't use the push to pass that I had. So when I realized it was the first, actually last lap. So yeah, second race was a tough race. I had a couple of incidents there, and I made through the third position, but it doesn't feel that good because I could be, race better without all those incidents. But it is what it is. So let's focus to the next race. I'd like to thank you, my wife, and all my sponsors. That's it.
Jeff, do you have a question?
I was curious, Thiago, because you did a very good job in race 1, narrowly missing out there. But then race 2, you had to start 9th. I was curious how that start was for you, because it looked pretty frantic from us.
Yeah, that's the word, frantic. I had a very good start, and I passed like 2 or 3 cars there, but I chose to turn fourth. I think I chose to do it outside, and when I hit the brakes, the cars I lost the front and I was into the grass. But I tried to recover fast, and I had my first incident over there. I think it might be my fault. I didn't look at the replay, but I'd like to say sorry to the guy that I hit there. We could have done like I'm inside, he's outside, but he chose to do it in the middle, and we have the first hit there. So before we arrived at the middle of the race, I was with 16Xs, and I had to take care. And I slow a little bit down, but yeah, let's focus on the next race. I think that will be better.
Well, certainly, it's still a great night for you here, regardless, with a podium in the sprint and the feature, and you already got your thank yous in. We appreciate the time. It's great to talk to you. It's been a while. We'll hope to do it many more times throughout the season. Is it the plan to race the full season here?
Yeah, like to be back.
All righty. Thank you for the time here tonight. Congrats, and we'll hope to talk to you again at Road Atlanta.
Bye.
Well, you led a lot of laps here tonight. Kevin Bonomi will bring it home in second. It feels like it's been a while since we talked to Thiago Spencer. It's also been a while since we talked to Kevin Bonomi as well. Welcome back to the booth, partner.
Thank you. Feels good to be back here and in an open wheeler this time, showing that I'm not a one-trick.
Certainly not. You matched, I believe, your best FSS finish here tonight with the runner-up. You led most of this race, though. You end up in a great battle. Fantastic stuff there with Byron Daly, but I'm sure you probably wanted to come out ahead.
Yeah, to say I was disappointed would be like an understatement, but he did a fine job with that pit. He got the fresher tires, and I had little to no defense against that. I'm still surprised I was able to somewhat keep up at the end, like only 5/10 away with older tires, but yeah, it was a good race.
To even get yourself in that position, you made some pretty bold moves there on the opening lap, threading the needle up from fourth to first there by the time you get out of turn number 2, if I'm not mistaken. And part of what allowed you to get to that massive lead was just the fact that you were the only driver to kind of get out of the hornet's nest early.
Yeah, I was really happy with that start. I was like, holy shit, this is what you see in like F1 Legend videos, you know? Like that's crazy.
Shot out of a cannon. Jeff, what do you got for your runner-up?
I've actually had the luxury of racing against Mr. Bonomi a handful of times in ASRL, so when I saw that he had a nice clear track in front of him, I was fairly worried because I've seen what happens when he can get a clear track, and it's usually quite sad for everybody else. I was curious, how close were you there on push to pass at the end? It looked like you may have had a period where it was off there in the last lap and a half that you didn't look very happy about.
Yeah, I pushed it a little too early before he did his attack, and I think I was like 10 seconds from actually being able to use it. If I had access to it, I think it would have been a very different story, but it is what it is. He did a good race, and I'm happy with this.
I mean, it's a great start to the season for you. Getting a pretty decent finish in the sprint and the runner-up in the feature to boot. Is the plan to go for the Cup here this season?
I don't know. It's too early to say. I wish, but I know these guys are very competitive and aggressive, and I am just a timid little boy compared to them. So,
well, I guess let me rephrase. Are we planning on running full-time at least this season?
oh yes, 100%.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're off on the right foot if we are going to challenge, and we'll see how the rest shakes out. But
Okay.
regardless, great stuff here tonight. Great to get to talk to you again, and let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
Shout out to my brothers watching. Shout out to my teammate that was basically coaching me the entire time. I was like, oh, take this apex tighter. I was like, okay, push the pass there. Okay. So couldn't have done this without him, and that's pretty much it.
All righty, partner. Great to get to talk to you once again. Go celebrate a hard-fought P2 here tonight, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next week at Road Atlanta.
Thank you.
And now we will talk to your race winner for the first time since Season 1. It's win number 4, though, in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, and it's always a good night when we get to talk to Byron Daly when it's all said and done. Welcome back, and congrats.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that like meme going around of like Unk still got it, but that's how I felt, man. Like the last few seasons with this car, I don't know why I've been lost. Like I can't figure out how to make speed with it, and I don't know if it's just the fact that this place is just a fast flowing racetrack or what. But yeah, I was very surprised that I was able to get the job done today.
I mean, it's a fast racetrack for sure, and you were going quite fast there. I mean, a Herculean effort once you got up to second. Nevertheless, all the cars you had to pass in the between then. But once you got to second, I mean, it was probably, a 4 or 5 second gap up to Kevin Bonomi once you got up to P2, and you reeled him in right before pit stops there. I mean, that was quite the stint.
Yeah, and it took the entire – I was just telling Tiago about this. Like, it took the entire stint just to get to Kevin. Then he boxed, and I tried doing my typical long strategy, and the tires this season obviously matter a lot more because that did not work. I had another 2-second gap I had to claw back, and just barely was able to get back to him by the time the race was about over.
I mean, what was the feeling when he boxes before you? Was the plan always to go long on him? Did you want to try and beat him to pit road? I feel like it would be easy to panic in that situation or at least overthink it either way.
No, I was honestly committed to going to 10 minutes left in the race. And I probably shortcut that by 1 lap because I was struggling just hooking the tires up out of the last corner. And my lap time was dropping, and I thought, well, Kevin might be onto something here. Like, that's probably why he boxed. And there was a lap car in front of me that was just going to cost me time. So I was like, all right, let's just box and see where we come out. Came out 2 seconds behind him. I'm like, yeah, I have completely messed up this race. I didn't think I was going to catch him.
Jeff, what do you got for your race winner?
First off, congratulations, Byron. That was lovely to watch, and I think your pit strategy worked out pretty good. I think that had a lot of merit. I think you'll have a lot more merit coming forward. I am curious though on the last lap and a half there, as you're seeing those the back markers start to get a lot closer and a lot larger rear wings in front of you. I was curious how comfortable that felt.
That was about to ask if one of them can get out of the way, and then I was out of a push pass. So I thought to myself, okay, if they can go just fast enough out of the last corner, I can toe off them to get to the line and Kevin won't have a shot. So I decided to take a chance, just not say anything, and hope the lapper got off the last corner well enough for me to toe, and it was perfect.
It's nice when things work out for once. Yeah, good stuff here tonight. Way to get back on the top step early. What's the plan for the rest of the season? Are we going full-time? Are we going for a championship? What's the goal?
It really depends on, like, I want to run all the races. I still think traditional European type tracks are my weak point. It's something to do with like how I get back to the throttle that I need to work on. So some of these fast flowy paces, I think I figured that back out. But like we've got Suzuka in the schedule, Montreal, Portland might be okay. But just looking at some of the tracks coming up, as far as championship concerns, I mean, like Imola, like those places I've traditionally struggled recently, just on the open service running this car. So I'm not promising anything, but I have a few of them I can check off as maybe a good opportunity, like Road America, Road Atlanta. Those places that are kind of more American style tracks or just fast, flowy. I think that's going to go okay for me.
Well, we're looking forward to it regardless. Congrats on win number 4 here in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, and let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
Yeah, just thanks to everybody who puts this on. You all for broadcasting. I don't have a ton of sponsors or anything like that, so I'm just out here for fun and just happy to get to do it.
Well, winning's got to be awfully fun. I wouldn't know, but you certainly do. Congrats on the win here tonight. Go celebrate, go party hard, and we'll hope to talk to you next week in Road Atlanta.
Thank you.
Good stuff here tonight. Phillip Island always produces the pass there with 2 laps to go. And you get your first one in fairly spectacular fashion here tonight as well. Congrats to you on your first full night here in the booth.
Yeah, thank you. That's a little bit of a trial by fire. This came together a little bit later than I think we all wanted it to. But I'm glad to have been up here, and hopefully I can be up here at least the next couple weeks. I've got some time off because I have to deal with being in society, but hopefully I can find myself in the booth a little more often.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to that down the road. We may have some guests to plug the holes that'll be left behind here, but certainly Jeff going to be our color commentator of the season, and we're looking forward to many more races like that. We've got some stuff to plug as usual here. First of all, thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Engine Motor, Stacy DeFabis, Nux, Larissa Lambert, and Nate Siefker. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us here this evening. Thank you, as always, to the sponsors of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Of course, the sponsor of the AM Division for season number 3 is the makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, and still provide all the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. Thanks to 4D Racewear, and thanks to GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. GoSquadra will connect drivers with teams, manage race events, create and edit stint schedules, enable easy stint adjustments on the fly during a live race, and much, much more. Coming soon to GoSquadra.com. Thanks to GoSquadra for their continued support of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Some upcoming events here on Turn 200. It's the Chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup tomorrow night, starting at Chicagoland. Final 5 races of the season number 9 of the Venom Truck Series. I keep forgetting what Matt Williamson named that race in a brain fog stupor. I'll have to go back and check the tape on that one, but rest assured, it's an interesting one. And it'll be a fun race tomorrow night. Only the second time the Venom Truck Series has ever been to Chicagoland, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for the Turn 200 home race. Wednesday night, the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sports is Oh, goodness. How could I forget where they are on Wednesday night? Doing a worse and worse job of this as time goes along. Next week, we are this Wednesday, we're at Sears Point, Sonoma. How could I forget? It's James Watson's home race. He'll be doing color from the car on track Wednesday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one as well. Thursday night, it's the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, and they will be at Lime Rock Park, and I absolutely cannot wait for that one. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, that is going to be a blast. That will lead us all the way back around to next Monday night, round 2 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. We'll be live from Road Atlanta at the same 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Start time that we had here tonight, roughly anyway. And we'll be looking forward to that one. Thank you to everybody with the Formula Racing Series and the Formula Super Series. Thanks to Zach Flaum for having us back. And thanks to Mr. Jeff Mathis as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again, from the Phillip Island Circuit, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long. And congratulations to your winners here tonight. Schwadi Gregorio, your sprint race winner. And Byron Daly, first feature victory of season number 3 for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.